Okay, so just going to give you some background and some help with getting some of these Excel spreadsheets to go. I'm only going to show you how to do the basics, so I'm not going to show you the advanced stuff. That is obviously for someone who wants to try and excel above their the well above standard to be working on. If you need any help, come and see me personally, but I don't want to confuse people who are not planning on doing the extra work. So first one is Spreadsheet Task 0. This is a function worksheet, and you've been handed something that looks like this. And you'll look at something like this. I'm going to get out of this and go to Excel. Alright, so here is my Excel spreadsheet. You'll notice that for me, I've just put a dot in front of it, because if I remove that dot, you'll actually do the calculation. Now, I could also say that this here is just text. That's one way of doing it. Also, the other way I can do it is if I go to View, page layout, no. Formulas, here we are. So under formulas, I can go show formulas. So if I turn that off, all right, you can see now this is the formula version. If I turn it back, if I put it back, now it shows the answer. So if I go to here, I can actually say print. So if when I want to print, I can go show formulas. Now if I print, you'll see that it actually shows the formulas when I'm printing. Alright, but I don't want to show the formulas, I want to show the answers. Alright, so that's the first thing. The other thing we want to do is go, I want to insert header and footer. Okay, should always do this. So under the header, on the left, I'm going to put in my name, Jared Johnson. I'm going to put in on the right side my class 9JJ. I'm going to go now down to the footer. On the left hand side, I'm going to put in the date. So the way I put in the date is, nope, I want to go and date. Sorry, it's a little bit different in this version of Excel. I think it is, and open bracket, date. Yep. And the other one is I want to add the file. So add file name, I think. Nope, that's not right. Add file. There we are. You can also do pathway view as well. Right, so I want to get out of that. So to get out of that, I want to click that here. Right, it's taking me to my normal screen. Okay. So it's expected you to do the headers and footers for every single page, every single spreadsheet. I tend to start at one and have it as default. But what I'm going to do first is we're going to go through what these things mean. So first one, we're looking at rows. So a row is going across, column is going down. We said here rows B9. So here I've got A and B. So B9, there's B9 to B18. So that's asking me how many rows are there from here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the answer is 10, which you expect. Columns is how many columns is there between A11 and C16. So we can see there's 3 columns. Count A12 to C16, A12 to C16. Right, so that's counting how many cells are there. It's 15. Max from B9 to B18 is saying what's the highest number? Highest number here is 44. If we've got minimum, what's the lowest number? If we've got sum means add. So this is A11 to A14. Going across. Okay, so sorry, A11 to C14. It's A11 to A14, adds them up, and adds them up, and the answer is 111. Notice you have to put a comma in between them. Right, even, this is where people start getting stuck. So even of A9, so I'll go down to A9. So this is basically, if I said round off to the nearest whole number, now saying round off to the nearest even number. If it's on an even number, it will stay where it is. If it's on an odd number, I have to round up to the nearest even number. Right, so here I've got even A9, which is going to be 6, so it stays as 6. Even B11 is 7. It's not an odd number, it's not an even number, so I have to go up to 8, so the answer is 8. Same with the odd. If we're rounding off to the nearest odd number, you have to round up, unless it's so A9. Right, that's not an odd number, so I have to get up to 7. There we go. And B11, what's on 7, so I can stop. SQRT means square root. So square root of A10, sorry, square root of A10 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. B9, so this little symbol, which is above the 6, means to the power of. So A9, which is 6 to the power of B9, 2, so it means 6 to the power of 2, it also means 6 squared, which is 36. ABS means absolute number, right? So here we've got absolute of C9, so it basically means get rid of the positive and negative, right? What is the value, like what's it worth, not what's the direction. Right, and so here it's 2 and B9. So both of these, their absolute number is 2. That's how big the number is. It doesn't tell you what direction it goes. The modulus, or the mod, is basically A18 divided by B19. So A18, which is 21, divided by B18, 5. Right, now just to get this right, you can see here, number divided by divisor. So if you ever get stuck, you can start writing them in, and if I click on this, it gives me more information. Right, so click on, it says, alright, syntax using mod, so here, if we go mod of 3, which is basically the remainder. So we're looking at the remainder, sorry, not the positive, negative. So here I've got 21 divided by 5, it's going to be 4, remainder 1. Right, so the answer is 1. Sign is, again, we're looking at positives and negative. So if I click in here, sign, so if it's a positive number, the answer will become as 1. If it's 0, it'll be 0. And if it's a negative number, it'll be -1. So it only has 3 possible outcomes, which is also kind of good if you ever want to have a calculate higher or lower. You could actually use the sign to see if it's higher or lower, and then give a value based on that. Int means integer. Right, so here, if I click in here, it basically means it's a number. So integer says it's a whole number, right? And the integer, you're rounding down, right? So here, if I've got 8.9, it actually rounds down to 8. So instead of doing the one we had before, which was even number or whole number or round, right? An integer rounds down. Here I've got when I'm working on round, right? If I'm going to round something, it basically means it's going to round it off to the number of digits you want. So here, round A1 to 2 means round off to 2 digits. All right, and if we look down here, 8.75, so that's going to round up. Okay, rounding up as opposed to modulus, which is as opposed to integer, which rounds down, because the first number is 0. Truncate. So truncate is a little bit different. Truncate is take a number and remove it. It's very similar to round. Here you've got to, where are we? If we go down to example. So here it just takes the whole number. It also takes the negatives as well. All right. And date. Oops, sorry, get rid of that. So date is, look at the date for this. All right. So date A15, which is 8, B16, 12, C17. Oh, sorry. A15 is 26. Sorry. 15, 16, 17. So it's 26, 197. Right. However, when we're doing it like this, the number comes out quite a lot different. So year, month, day. Okay. So it's back. It's almost reversed. So that's saying that it's 97. Yeah. No, that's very, very different. So if we go back into the again, these are always going to help. So functions return sequence, serial number. All right. Now the way the dates work is you take a number. Well, you take a number that's going to be. It's not going to work out the same way as we normally do a date. Okay. Now, if I do this one here, so now, open bracket, close bracket, it actually means what is the date as of now. So if I do it here, equals now, open bracket, close bracket, currently it's 5:21 on March the 28th. So I enter, you see there it's 5:21 on March 28th. All the following things are based on this. So when I did it, all right, it's saying, which is well, basically now again, Right, so all of these are now taking that date and then telling me just part of it. So here it's saying the year of that date, the month of that date, the day of that date, hour and the minute. So here I've got 1721 on the 28th of the 3rd, 2016, which is from here. If I hit enter again, this should change. Oh, when it actually gets to next one, so you see it changes. Average of A19 to A18. Right, which means add them all up and divide by how many there are. Rand, open bracket, close bracket, actually means pick a random number between 0 and 1, which also means you can allow it to be any number by timesing it. So here I've got round a random number to the nearest decimal. All right, so I've got rounded off, so to 1 decimal place. If I change this to 2, it'll be 2 decimal places. However, I don't want to do that. I'll leave it as 1, so we're not being confusing. Okay. Oh, that's a very rare random number. Okay. Here I've said pick a random number, times it by 60, so that means it's going to pick any number between 0 and 60, and then round, right, so that's the first part, and then I'm going to round that random number to 1 decimal place. Okay. Right, so that is basically the answers to the first function sheet. Now, a lot of these are going to be useful tools and equations that you're going to use. Probably the ones that you're going to use the most are going to be things like average. There's also if statements, which we'll get onto in later examples. All right, so hopefully that should help you do it.